All right, welcome everybody. This is John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Sign. This is Raging Verbalist number 207. Welcome, and we are here. It is now, well, as I look at the calendar, 10 days to Christmas. And if that doesn't freak you out, then you're probably ahead of the game on this whole thing. Raging Verbalist is on YouTube, Facebook. I can also check us out on the Facebook. We have a group called the Position to Win Book Group and all of that. Well, with me, as always, is the ever lovely Sandra, and she's here to ask me the questions that you would probably be asking me, maybe, if you were thinking about it. All right, Sandra, welcome.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing well, a little hectic this day because, as you know, I flew in late coming back to my office. So, but we're doing good. And then you are looking festive. Look, I like your
Thank you.
decor and
Thank you, thank
uh,
you. Yes.
yeah.
My mom made these, by the way.
Oh,
That's right.
available on the gift store on the way out. Make sure you sign the registry.
There you go.
Cool. All right. Hey, what are we talking about? I know we got a little bit of a time crunch today, but let's get it. Let's do it.
All right, we are talking about gratitude. So, do you think that gratitude is in decline?
I think we have a real coarsening of just language and conversations and those types of things. I don't see as many people seemingly saying thank you. Everybody's got an opinion, and it's always negative and complaining and all of those things. So in some ways, it just feels like we have that going down in that direction. I think that's sad state of affairs, but hopefully we're going to be that change in the tide. We're going to send it in a different direction. We're going to move it along to a better place because it really shouldn't be in decline. We should all be very thankful, especially how we are living today versus at any other time in history.
And how important are the benefits of having a gratitude mindset?
I think I believe that if you have this mindset and you have gratitude and you are thankful and you exhibit that for the most part, you're going to get better results in your life and things are going to happen and you're going to be there and people are going to say, yeah, I will help you or go out of my way. Now, usually what happens is people say, well, I don't experience that, and so therefore I'm going to be grumpy and grouchy and all those things. I think having the right mindset really does change things. It alters how you communicate with people and then how they communicate and react to you. Humans are reaction machines. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody reacts the same way, but what it does mean is that if we show gratitude to people, if we are thankful of all of these things, then you're going to get better and more positive results. And that's, I think, the case in all of life.
And given all the troubles in this world, does it even make sense for us to try to improve being thankful?
Since we live in such a hyper connected world, everyone can see all of the troubles. We can spend our entire time complaining and listing and looking at all of the various things that happen. What we end up doing is we focus on the negative and we really don't understand all the things that we do have. And it's hard for me to imagine, again, I'll just use my own situation, is we're coming up on my 24 would be my father's 100th birthday. Sadly, he's gone. But to think that sometime from when he was born until we don't know when, but before 1927, my grandmother packed up her whole family, including my troubled grandfather and her boys, and moved to this part of the world, moved to America. So if I'm not thankful for that, if I'm not thankful for all of the opportunity that I've been given that exists, then I'm really cheating myself. And that's, I think, the real key message I want to try to deliver is that you're cheating yourself. Being thankful, having gratitude, having a sense of how important this is that if you, in fact, don't do this, you're really cheating yourself, not the rest of the world. But if you have an attitude of gratitude, you're not only helping yourself, which is important, but also all of us that share this rock with you.
And can you give me a concrete example of how gratitude changed a negative into a positive situation?
I was waiting for a flight, and it was a situation where there was a whole bunch of people on standby. There was a couple that were trying to get on a flight. They only had 2 seats. I had status, and they said, "Well, you can have that. You can have that seat." And the couple behind was listening to this, and he started getting very pissy and belligerent and all of that, you know, and of course the gate agent was having to deal with this negativity and this barrage. And I looked and I said, "The two of you want to fly together. Is that really the end result of this?" And he goes, "Damn straight." And I said, "Okay, so here's what I'm going to do." And I looked at the gate agent and I said, "Why don't you take my ticket and I'll go on the next flight?" And I didn't have to do it. There's nothing that required me to do that. And I said, "Here you go." He was still a little grumpy. His wife was very thankful. But in the end, he gets on the flight and she goes, "Wow, that was really nice of you. What can we do nice for you?" And I said, "I don't know." And she says, "I'll give you drink coupons." I said, "Well, I don't drink." Because, well, we don't serve food. So maybe it'll give you an extra, that's Southwest, give you an extra bag of snacks or something. The point of it is that that was something that I did that changed the situation around. And before he did that, because they went and got in line, he actually walked back over and he said, "I really appreciate it. My wife was absolutely right. You did something that was very thankful. And I just wanted to thank you. And we're going to be home earlier. Everything's going to be." And I said, "There you go. Look for that in the next situation in your life and help somebody else out. And that way you can pay it forward and make a big difference." Now, since we are in the holiday spirit, one of the things that you might be thankful for, and I would be very thankful for you doing it, oh, maybe yes, maybe no, is go check out my book. Most businesses fail in the first 5 minutes. It just takes them 3 to 5 years to realize it. I'm asking Santa for a new camera, by the way. But what I'm going to tell you is you can get the book at positiontowinbook.com, positiontowinbook.com. Go check it out. Go pick it up. Also available Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million if you want the physical copy. Or you can, of course, ask me to sign it. We'll send it on its merry way. Or you can go get the digital copy at Kindle or Nook or Apple iBooks. Also, you might check out the other title that we have, that I have done, which is Remote Work for a Better World. And while you're at it, why not pick yourself up a Raging Verbalist mug so you can rage and get it out of your system. All right, Sandra, what do we have next?
All right. We've talked about the why, so can you share some of the how?
I think that we get so consumed in our own issues and own difficulties and own problems that we don't see the little things that we might do. So part of doing the how is always looking outside of yourself and saying, how can I help somebody else? How can I move this along? How can I see this? Just last week, and it's a sad ending, but just last week, one of our dogs, very sick, could barely move, get him to the vet, can't figure out how to get him out of the van. He is just really having troubles. They're understaffed. It's going to be a while, and just trying to take care of the situation. I walked up to a guy and said, "Are you a strong guy?" And he goes, "What?" I said, "No, I've got this dog is in the van. Can you help me out?" And the thing that he did is he said, "Well, what can I do?" And I said, "What you can do is help me pick up this dog, 50-pound dog, big old bag of, roly-poly doggy, and help me get him in." And I was so thankful. And he did the how. He did the physical act. When you are out there in the world, you need to think, what can I actually do? That's the how, not the why. The why is, I'm helping out somebody else in this planet. I'm helping out somebody else get something done. But how do you get something accomplished? And that's the part that you need to do. So the how is getting outside of your head and saying, what are one of those things that I could do to help somebody else that really will make a difference? Small, medium, or large. Don't expect that you're going to get something back right then and there. Don't expect any of those other things. In fact, I offered to, buy the guy a drink or a meal or something. The guy said, absolutely not. And sadly, the dog had to be put down. But what a traumatic day that was. But that individual who I never met before, probably never see him again, I am so thankful that he showed and he did the how, which is he helped take care of the situation.
And can you give us an example where you did something spontaneous to help people out?
So we are launching our book. Yes, I can. Launching our book. Remember the book we talked about. Launching the book at Freedom Fest 2019, just before the pandemic. And we're doing a little test marketing. And so we had been running around. It was great because, finally got the book. I had never seen my name in print that way, if you will. And so run around Freedom Fest, and Freedom Fest was an interesting place for a bunch of libertarians. And the day was kind of wrapping up, and I see this woman in distress, and she is trying to get back into the exhibition hall, and she can't figure out how to do it. And I walk up and I said, what's going on? She goes, well, I need a bunch of material that's at the booth, and I can't get in at all. And I said, well, I can help you. And she goes, you have a key? I said, well, actually, you have something better. You have me to help you do it. So I went over and found one of the people who run the show. I told her the problem that she had, and gracefully or graciously, they came over and unlocked it. We needed help, some more help. I called up, my co-conspirator and co-author, Gabe Batista, and said, hey, we're going to need to help this woman out. Didn't ask any questions, came a running. My brother Michael came a running. We helped move all this stuff over. And she says, wow, that's fantastic. As we get over to where they're going to have a private little get together, none of the stuff is set up because we just moved it all over there. And I said, do you need help setting up? And she said, well, I have two people who are here working for me and they'll help set up. So thank you very much. I think we're good. Well, they're not showing up. So without any hesitation, we just start setting this thing up. Now, did we know what we were doing? No, but we were helping. We were diving in. And the interesting thing about it is, of course, when you're trying to promote something, people always ask me, well, John, how do you do it? Well, why don't you just do positive right action? Why don't you just do those things? So we helped set this whole thing up. And it turned out that, and we had a sense, but it turned out this was Herman Cain. Sadly, Herman succumbed to the ill effects of COVID. And Herman Cain came in and said, wow, this thing has really been set up nicely. And he pointed out that we did it. And he shook her hand, showed him the book. We got a little bit of his time but he had an event that he was going to do right then and there. But the important part about it is that we just spontaneously did it. We didn't ask for, what's your motivation? What do we get for it? Any of that stuff. So that's an example of where we spontaneously did it. And I think that we all were pretty proud of what we did that day, primarily because it just showed that action overcomes words all the time. And take that action, and that's how you demonstrate a gratitude attitude. Because you know what? I hope he had a great event. If he already did, and everybody who came to his event, it was all set up, and it looked like it was just, was meant to be.
And you talked about a simple exercise that everyone can do to help lock into having more gratitude and being more grateful. Can you share that?
Yes, I can. And the exercise is this, and you decide how you want to do it. You want to do it, analog, which is, get some paper and a pen, maybe a pencil if you're one of those people want to erase it, or you go get yourself a Google Doc, a Microsoft Word doc, or whatever, however you write out. And it's two lists. And the first list is, and this is the important list, the most important list, which is, it's just called the bitch list. Because talk about all the things you want to complain about. Get it out of your head. Complain about all these things. Not happy about the weather, not happy about politics, not happy about world events, not happy about, whatever's going on. But get that bitch list out of your head. And the reason why you do it is that I can tell you, having worked for now decades, half century in the sales arena, Salespeople are bitchers. They're complainers. They're annoyed. In fact, some of the best salespeople I've ever met are really annoyed. And they're annoyed because they're trying to change direction on things. Got it. Make sure you got your bitch list down. Now, the next list is not the bitch list. The next list is the list that says, this is what I'm thankful for. What are the things that you're thankful for? See, we end up tracking and looking at the lack. We look at what we don't have versus what we do have. Find out what you do have and be thankful for what you have. And what you'll discover is that your life opens up to even more possibilities. So now you got your bitch list and you put it aside, and in a separate document, separate pages, you write out all the things you're thankful for, everything you're thankful for. Go out of your way to figure out what you're thankful for. Now, and make sure that you actually capture that. We can all sit there and talk about the things that we don't have, but think about what you do have. And if you do that and you take those two lists, what you'll discover is that if you focus more on what you're thankful for, you're going to get more of that. If you focus on the things that you can bitch about, and I can tell you there's a lot of stuff to bitch about, there's a lot of stuff to complain about. Hey, I'm the Raging Verbalist. I'm telling you, there's a lot of annoying things on this planet that I'm not happy with. Who's in charge? We're rocking around this sun 93 million miles away, 1,000 miles an hour. Who the hell's in charge? So be more thankful. Do that exercise. And I have done it myself many times. And I believe that it will help you. Hopefully it does. Send us a comment. Go on to the Facebook group, Position to Win book, and tell me, tell Sandra. Sandra reads all of them. Be nice. She reads all of them. Also, give us a thumbs up. Hit subscribe. And if you want to be annoyed, get notified. But all I can tell you is that go out there and get those and tell me that you've done the exercise and has it given you positive results. Because if it has, I'm thankful that I've shared it with you.
And this time of year, do you have a special gratitude story that exemplifies this attitude?
Every time we get around to this holiday season, it seems that I have some kind of business emergency, not bad, but a business emergency that comes about. So I'm having to fly from Ottawa, Canada to Las Vegas. It's cold in Ottawa. It's December. In fact, it's very close to this time of year. So I'm on the very first flight from Ottawa to Chicago. And just to set the scene, they don't heat the concourses going to the planes in Canada. I mean, you get to walk in that, let's get you chilled out a little bit. So I'm on the flight. It's crack o' dawn. It's East Coast time. I had flown in originally just a few days before from Palm Springs, where it was 80. Now it's minus 25 degrees centigrade or whatever the heck it is. So I landed in Chicago early. I got a long layover. Decide, let me go get some breakfast before I take my flight to Las Vegas. So I go to the restaurant and sit there. Sun is not even up yet. Order my breakfast, and I'm like going, okay, we're going to make the trip because I got a lot of stuff left to do for the day. And I notice while I'm 3/4 of the way through, a guy walks in, and he's wearing an Army uniform. He's wearing fatigues. He's wearing, boots. He's got a pack, so you can tell that he was on deployment. Puts the stuff down, looks exhausted, sits there and orders breakfast. And I'm watching that and I'm thinking, here we are at this time of year. I don't know him. I've never, not even had a conversation with anything. And I have the server come over and I said, what I want to do is I want to give you enough money. What did he order? She's like, what? What did he order? She tells me. And I give her enough money that not only is it going to pay for that, but it's going to give her a really good tip, like a $20 tip on a $20 meal. And I give her that. And she goes, well, do you want me to tell him? Well, you can if you want, but I'm just buying him breakfast. And I pack up my stuff and I walk out. Now, if you've ever been to O'Hare, there's lots of these long concourses. I'm walking and I now start hearing as I'm going towards my gate, whoosh, 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 whoosh. Like somebody's trying to run very heavy. And I turn around and there's the guy. And he comes up to me and he said, you bought me breakfast. Why did you do it? I said, well, you look like you could need a breakfast. And he said, well, I'm just flying back from deployment in Afghanistan, trying to get home to see my family, see my wife, my kids, see all of those. And I never thought anybody was going to buy me a breakfast this morning. I said, well, I didn't. He goes, why didn't you say anything? I said, well, because I understood what I was going to get out of it. What I was going to get out of it is being thankful for what he did. He teared up, I teared up, didn't hug, not a hugging kind of guy, big guy, shook hands, wished me a Merry Christmas, wished me great success in my travels. And I said, the same to you. And I left. The point of it is that, and it's one of those stories, one of those things, is find those situations where you can do something that's just a little bit more than out of the ordinary and possibly change somebody's life. Hopefully, it made his day brighter. I think it did. But what it did for me was it said that I was doing the right thing. And whenever you're doing the right thing, you know that you have a great deal to be thankful for. And therefore, you have an attitude of gratitude. And with that, I want to thank you for joining us, and for myself, John Paul Mendoza, Dr. Speed Selling, and the ever lovely Sandra. Thanks for spending some time with us on this Raging Verbalist, and we're thankful for you, and we have gratitude in our hearts for you taking some time and spending with us. Please pass that on, and as Sandra's mom says, pay it forward.